Yeah, guys, in this one, we went back and replaced that micro channel coil in the Broan Straight air conditioner I found, I think it was last week or so. So, offered the customer some options. We gave him a pretty good deal on replacing the coil since it was just out of warranty. So that's when he went ahead with. So, yeah, we went back, replaced that coil, went pretty good. Take a look. All right, we got our recovery going on right now. Just turned it on. We'll let her pump down. We'll start opening this this unit up. We'll get the panels taken all off of it and get it loose. All right, here's a good look at where it was leaking at. Right there. And right there. So the new coil doesn't come with all these little protector pieces, so we're going to take all those and reuse them. All right, we picked zeros. Go ahead and close this off. Whatever's left bleed off. All right, this coil attaches to the panel, or the panel I should say attaches to the coil by these little indentations here. They basically cut the metal out and then push that little tab down, and that just kind of locks into the coil. So you got to bend those tabs over to get it out. Sometimes some can be easier than others, but I usually just take a flathead screwdriver and try to either pry them up or push them down. So you can see them right there. There's one right there. That one's got to come up. And the one at the bottom down there, that one's got to push down. Same thing on this side. And then it'll just kind of bend out of the way. I'm going to take probably that screw out, because I want to take this bottom panel off too, because it makes it easier to unsweat and braze that bottom fitting right there. You don't burn up the panel with that. Sorry, I dropped you guys. My bad. Yeah, you don't burn up the panel if you take it out. Here we have it. Got the panels out of the way, and we're pretty loose here. So I'll probably just cut here, and get that out of the way. Also cut the filter dryer out right here. Well, I already started to sand some of that copper back. I'll sand all that back before I cut it, so I don't have to worry about sanding it when it's open. I'll sand the filter dryer too. All right, got our sanded down. We'll get that cut. Cut it as close down here as possible. Cut it right there. And cut her just past the solder right here. We can manipulate this piping, so I'm not worried about losing that 1.5 inches or whatever it is, inch and a half of pipe. So, and if I end up short here, just scab in a piece of 3/8 if it's that big a deal. All right, then we're left with a shell. Filter dryer cut out, coil cut out. Really just 4 braze connections. There's our old coil. Let's get our new one over here and get it set. All right, here is our new coil. Let's just see if we have any pressure. Yep, that's encouraging. I've got these before where they didn't have any pressure and they were leaking right out of the box. Because these micro channel coils, they aren't made of much. Doesn't take much to make them leak. But I've also had them where they didn't have any nitrogen in them and they didn't leak. So they don't braze these in. They just have these little plugs, and then they just kind of stab the stem in there into one of the plugs. So it's not really like a great seal. It's just a little bit of one. So we'll get this tape cut off. We'll get these plugs pulled and get it set. All right, we'll also go ahead and take this opportunity while we have it all opened up to clean this base pan out. Get all this crap out of here. Get it good and clean. While we had it opened up, just went ahead and wiped all that nasty slime off the compressor too, off the data plate, so that doesn't wear out prematurely. That dirt will get on there and wear it and you know, smudge it and make it wear out early. So just went ahead and did that, vacuumed out the pan. So I think we're ready to set our coil. All right, everything seems to be lining up good. Got our compressor discharge entering our coil. We have our condenser outlet leaving, going to our filter dryer here, single direction filter dryer because this is a straight air conditioner, and going into the home. So we'll just get some nitrogen set up and some torches and get this thing brazed up. All right guys, we got the wet rag set up on the filter dryer. Make sure none of that is on where I'm gonna braze at, or it makes it very difficult. Got our nitrogen set up, flowing through our high side, dumping out our low side. All right, let's get busy. I think I got all my brazing done. Filter dryer popped out on me, so I had to deal with that. But I think it went pretty smooth. That one done, that one done. They all went pretty good. About to increase that nitrogen pressure. We'll check for leaks. Got her up to about 400, 401. Let it sit there for a little while. And we'll start reassembling stuff. Well, it hasn't dropped. If it has, it hasn't dropped much. Might even went up a little. But it's been about 10 or 15 minutes. I've put the cover back on, the coil guard, which they never, it's like the coils aren't like the same shape when they're new like this, so they're kind of hard to put on, but just a matter of straightening everything out. Yeah, like this side keeps on wanting to pop out, so it'll all, once I get the fan put back on, everything should square up, but it's a little difficult going while you're working on it, but we're getting there. We'll put the vacuum pump on here in a minute. All right, we got the vacuum pump on, gas ballast open. I'm gonna try one hose because it's just 2 micro channel coils and a little bit of line set. So we're gonna do one hose through the suction, and we put our micron gauge on our liquid line. So we'll see how deep we can get just doing that. All right, well, we got her under 1,000 anyway. She's been going for about, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. So let her keep on going, see how low she gets. It does take longer. Oh, micron gauge just cut off, but it does take longer like this, but I believe you do get a better vacuum and you get a more accurate reading from your micron gauge. So, now if this was like a large system with tube and fin coils, I'd have both hoses hooked up. And typically I would on something like this too, but I got a little bit of time today, so just figured we'd do a nice long deep vacuum and see what it gets down to. All right guys, it calls for 57 ounces, which is 3.5 pounds. I'm a skosh over that. So we're about to start her up now. I got it calling. Yep, contactor's pulled in. Let's see what happens. Get my probes hooked up. We'll see what she's really doing. They go by an approach here. We have this approach chart. So we take our liquid line pressure and cross it to our liquid line temperature. And that's what it should be. Sometimes they'll do an outdoor temperature here, which I find it hard to believe I'm going to have a 75-degree suction or liquid temperature, because it's really only about 60 degrees out here. So we'll get it as close as we can. All right, we got a 67-degree liquid line temperature, so we're not going to be able to use this chart because it only goes down to 75. But it looks like we're pretty close anyway. My suction line temperature is actually still dropping. I believe I have a TXV in there. I'm not 100% sure. I think I do. If I do have a TXV, then this chart, I think, I'm not sure. I'll have to check to see if I got a TXV in there. It's just kind of a pain in the ass to get to the coil in there, because it's mobile home furnace and it's behind like a panel. But I might have a TXV. Let it keep stabilizing. As my suction pressure keeps going up and my suction line temperature is coming down, so it's still stabilizing. Yeah, guys, I'd say we're pretty daggone close. I'm not gonna mess with it anymore. Not gonna put any more in it. We're gonna let her ride like that.